Tiffany Arielle here, and we are back with another video. So right now I am in Queenstown, New Zealand. This trip is gonna have a few different stops. So this is my first stop, and then we're gonna go to Australia. We'll get to that later. But I just got here today. I flew from San Francisco to Auckland, New Zealand on United Airlines Premium Economy. It would have been nice to fly business class and have the fully lie flat seat for like the long flight. It was like 13 and a half hours, but I did not have business class money and I wasn't trying to use my points for this, mainly because this is actually technically a work trip. I've just added some vacation onto it, and I was like, I'm not doing that for a work trip, and they did not give me enough budget to book business class. So premium economy it was. However, with that being said, I was still able to get pretty decent sleep thanks to the seats reclining further back. The normal economy, thanks to there's like a leg rest that like raises up your legs a little bit, so it is more comfortable than regular economy. So I got decent sleep. So then I had to fly from Auckland to Queenstown. I flew on Air New Zealand. That was just regular economy because you don't have premium economy on like those short domestic flights. And then I took the bus from the airport because I looked at the cost of an Uber and it was like $40, like New Zealand dollars. Whereas the bus, I paid $5 to buy the little B card. And then I think it's like $2 each ride. So to and from the airport is gonna only cost me like $9 in total, including the cost of the B card, which is literally 1/4 of the cost of one Uber. So yes, we took the bus. It wasn't bad. This bus stop is right at the airport, and then I had to walk like 5 minutes after I got off the bus to get to my hotel. So I'm staying at the Novotel Queenstown Lakeside. Of course, there will be all the links and the cost and everything like that in my blog post, which will be linked down below. This hotel isn't anything super fancy, but you know, it's nice, it's neat, it's clean, and it's a good location, which is what I really care about. The lake is literally right there, which is nice because some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing the next couple days is like really close by, like I can walk to it. Also, like I said, the bus stop was only 5 minutes away, so that's a plus as well. So since I just got here, I got here maybe about an hour, no, not even an hour. I think I got here about 30 minutes ago. I just been kind of getting myself situated. So today I'm going to head out and go to this place called the Skyline. They have a gondola that you ride up and you can see like the views and everything. Then they have a luge, which I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm going to ride the luge. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get footage of me riding the luge because I think it's something I have to drive. And since I'm by myself, I can't really like film myself driving. But I will film as much as I can while I'm there, and then we will talk when I get back. All right, we are back. It's been some hours. So I went to the place called the Skyline, like I said. So they have a gondola that you ride up. I did get some footage, so you should have seen that. And so I rode that up. That was fun. They had a nice little viewing deck, and you can kind of just like look around if you want. You can also hike up if you are a hiker. You can definitely do that instead of riding the gondola. Me personally, I'm not about that life. So gondola it was. So they have different packages where you can do just gondola only, or you can do gondola plus luge. I did the gondola plus 3 luge rides. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to ride the luge, to do at least 3, because I feel like the first one is basically a trial run, right? You don't know what you're doing. You haven't ridden this thing before. It's not that complicated. Like literally children can ride it. You basically adjust the pressure by like pulling or pushing on the handlebars. And then you just steer it like a bike. So it's not complicated, but it still, you know, takes a little minute to kind of get used to like, okay, how fast do I actually want to go? How fast do I want to turn? All that good stuff. So I feel like the first run is kind of like a trial run, and then they have 2 different tracks. So if you do at least 3, then you get 1 good run for each track. So that's what I did. Some people did more. Like, I met one girl randomly who was also from the Bay Area, and she did 5, and she was like, I love this kind of stuff. So she knew she wanted to do more. I think that's great. But yeah, so I went there, and then I left from there. I stopped at a store. I picked up some bottled water, some, you know, snacks, whatever, because I'm not doing the overpriced hotel stuff. Like, no, we're not doing that. So I picked that up. I picked up some postcards. We're not waiting till the last minute. I saw some, I bought some, and then I got some dinner. I went to this place called Fergburger. So this one is the Codfather. So it's like a tempura battered cod on like a bun. So it's a fish sandwich, but they have different ones. So they had like a lamb burger, they had a deer burger, they had like multiple different types of like beef burgers, they had chicken, they had falafel, like they had all different type of stuff. So I heard about this place from a couple different people, so I figured I would try it. I may actually go back. They have like a bakery next door which has like breakfast sandwiches, so I might do that like tomorrow for breakfast. We'll see. But yeah, so that's what I did. I'm about to eat my sandwich, and then I'm gonna take a shower, get ready for bed, and then I'm just gonna chill because it has been a day. Like, we got here, we hit the ground running, and now I'm ready to tap out. So I will talk to y'all again in the morning. Good morning. It is Saturday, February 1st. We gotta make this quick because I'm running late. I gotta be in the lobby in 3 minutes. So this morning, I already went out and picked up breakfast. I just had a ham and cheese croissant from the place that I went to yesterday. It's pretty good. I was gonna get a different one, but it had avocado on it and all the sandwiches are pre-made. So I couldn't get it like without the avocado, and I don't really do avocado. But yeah, so I just got the regular ham and cheese one. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So right now I'm about to go on a tour. We are actually taking a plane from Queenstown to this place called Milford Sound. And then we're gonna go on a boat and see the scenery, and it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, so there are options to take a bus there, but the bus option was like 13 hours. Like, you have to spend 5 hours driving there, and then 3 hours actually like exploring the area, and then like 5 hours coming back. And I was like, I'm not spending 10 hours of my vacation sitting in a car. No, we're not doing that. So I'm getting on the plane. Added benefit is you get the views from the sky, so I am excited for that. I'll let y'all know how it goes when I get back. It is some hours later. It's been a day. It was amazing. I really enjoyed the whole tour. It was a great experience. I actually got to sit in the front with the pilot on the flying part of the tour, and that was amazing because I could kind of see like in the front through the dash, and then I also had the window to the side. I did wish that I was a little bit taller so I could have like seen over the dash a bit more, but it was still just like really beautiful. Just to see the mountains, the glacier, the lakes, the waterfalls, the river, it's really beautiful. I would definitely recommend this tour, like if you find yourself in New Zealand. Amazing. Yeah, the camera, I feel like the camera wasn't really doing it justice because number one, it's like really hard to actually like capture things on camera, and number two, I obviously could not like film the entire time. That would have been like a 40-minute flight and then an almost 2-hour boat ride and then another 40-minute flight. Like, ain't nobody about to sit here and watch this video for that long. And low-key, I feel like some of the mountains kind of start to look the same, and like when you're watching a video you wouldn't even really know like the difference between this one and that one because like it's, yeah. So I didn't film everything, but I tried to get at least the main stuff that was being pointed out. So there's that. Definitely recommend. One of the waterfalls, actually two of the waterfalls that we went to, they were talking about how the height is actually like 3 times the height of Niagara Falls, which is kind of wild because I feel like growing up I always felt like Niagara Falls was this big huge thing, and then you hear about other waterfalls being like 3 times taller. Now I do feel like Niagara Falls is like bigger this way versus those ones that are more tall but like are like smaller. But that also could just be because the waterfall is like in the mountain. So the mountain being huge makes the waterfall look small, even though it's not. And also I just don't really remember Niagara Falls that well. I was literally a child when I went there. So it could be that my memory is just deceiving me, but it was still wild just to hear that like this thing is like 3 times the height of Niagara Falls. You're like, what? And there's 2 of them. Yeah. Anyway, amazing experience. I will definitely have the information linked down below in my blog post. I would highly recommend checking this out. I will say, I believe the tour said it was supposed to be like accessible, like for disabled people or people with strollers. Not really sure how they would finagle that because we did have to climb up like a ladder to get into the plane. And also the boat would be pretty difficult to navigate. Like you could get on the boat, I would say, with like a wheelchair or something like that, but like you wouldn't be able to go to the top deck, so your experience would definitely be limited. So I would say if you have anything that prevents you from going up and down stairs, I would definitely recommend calling them to make sure that they can accommodate you, regardless of what it may say in the description. The other thing to mention is there are like weight limits. I believe they said if you're over 300 pounds, you're supposed to call them. What I don't know is if that's 300 pounds, like just you by yourself, or if that's 300 pounds of you with like your stuff that you'll have with you, because they did weigh us before we got on the plane. I don't know if they were trying to see if anybody was over the limit or if they were just trying to figure out like the weight balancing of like, you know, whatever. I'm not sure the details, but when they weighed us, they had us weigh with all our clothes on, with our bags that we were bringing up with us. So like literally everything you have with you. So I would say if you think that you might be 300 pounds with, you know, your bag or whatever you would have with you, I would probably suggest calling them just to make sure there won't be any issues. Just putting that out there. They don't say that you can't, they just say call them. I'm guessing they probably just have to account for like, you know, maybe one less person on the tour or something of that nature, because if you weigh, let's say 400 pounds, that might be, you might be the weight of 2 people. So, you know, just probably have to take that into account. So yeah, so I got back and then I actually went and grabbed some food from McDonald's because I was hungry. I didn't have lunch, and they have snack wraps here. I don't think they brought back the snack wraps in the US. I heard they were supposed to be bringing them back, but last I checked that had not happened. But I saw they had snack wraps here and I was like, I'm getting a snack wrap because I haven't had one in a really long time, and I just needed something small to tide me over until dinner. It's 4:12 right now, so yeah, I didn't want to eat anything big. And then I got a Diet Coke. And this is wild because they always say how people in the US are fat, and like we kind of are, because this would definitely be a small size in the US. This is like probably 16 ounces. This is the medium here. And I think their large is like our medium. And our large is like 32 ounces, which is like actually insane, because why is anybody drinking 32 ounces of soda in one sitting? I also made a reservation for an ice bar. I actually walked past it yesterday when I went to the Skyline to ride the gondola and the luge. There's a few around the area, but when I was looking at the reviews, that one that was over there had the best reviews. And I saw they provide boots, like they have like UGG boots in there, whereas the other ones, I don't think they provide boots. And I was a little concerned about my feet being cold. I do have boots on, but these are not like warm boots, really. So I was like, I would rather have the Uggs on because it's really cold. Like, it's like, I think they say -12, but -12 is Celsius. I'm not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit. I'll have to look that up and put that on the screen for you. But yeah, so they have parkas in there. I actually added on the little hat rental because I was like, my ears might be cold. I don't want to deal with that. They have gloves, and of course they have boots. And so basically you pay for entry, and then you can also pay for drinks, so that you can do a mocktail if you're a child or you just don't drink alcohol for whatever reason. And then they also have different types of cocktails. So you can look at the menu online and decide, like, do you want like the premium cocktail, the signature cocktail, the mocktail? And then basically when you make your reservation, you tell them like how many drinks you want, whatever. So my reservation is at 5 p.m. I have to be there around 4:45, so I'm probably gonna leave here around 4:30 just to make sure I have enough time to walk over there. So I'm back from the ice bar. I actually got back a while ago, but when I first got back, my phone was completely dead, so I couldn't exactly film an update. Well, it wasn't completely dead, I'm exaggerating. It was cool, I enjoyed it. Basically they give you the parkas. I did pay for a hat rental, so I had like a cute little panda hat on. They give you gloves as well, and they do have boots. I thought I was gonna wear their boots because I was thinking that their boots would be warmer than my boots. When I got there, they were like, no, they're like, our boots are actually not that warm. You're gonna be warmer in your own shoes, so you should just leave your own shoes on. Because I'm thinking they're like UGG boots and they're like really warm. No, the parkas also are not like that thick. They look like they should be thicker than what they are, but it was fine. Like, it was warm enough. I was not cold like in the body. My ears were not cold at all either because I had the hat on. At one point I did put the hood on. I think my hands were the coldest part because when I walked out of there, like, they literally were hurting because they were like warming up. My toes got a little bit cold, but it was fine as soon as I got out. But yeah, so other than my hands, everything was pretty much fine. I think they say you can be in there for like an hour. I was not in there for an hour. I was in there for maybe 40 minutes. And then I was like, it's time to go. I finished my one drink and I was like, I'm good. But yeah, it was really nice to see all the like ice sculptures and everything like that. So they said the temperature actually kind of varies. So they cool it to -12 Celsius. And then once it gets to that temperature, the like generator shuts off. It lets it warm back up to -6, which actually will start to melt the ice. And then they cool, once it gets to -6, they start cooling it again down to -12. And so the ice is kind of like freezing and melting and freezing and melting. Not fully melting, but just, you know, enough. And they do that to help keep the ice like really clear. And that's just something that they do. So that was kind of cool. It was really interesting because the guy who was the bartender, he said he actually is from London. He had a job in a law firm in London, and then he just like quit, and then he moved to Australia and was working in an ice bar, and then he came to New Zealand like 2 months ago, and now he's working in another ice bar. So he's like, this is so much more fun than like being in London. He's like, I don't really like London. He's like, I'm good. That was just kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know if I would go to the ice bar again. I think it's one of those things where it's like you do it just to say you did it and have that one experience. But like, because it is quite cold in there, and it is kind of a gimmick, honestly, if we're being honest. The cup is also made of ice. I don't think I mentioned that before, but the cup is made of ice. I actually asked them how they keep all the mixers from freezing, because you know, like alcohol doesn't freeze, but like soda, juice, all those things do freeze. So he basically said they just rotate them. So they'll bring it in for like an hour, then they'll take it back out, so that way nothing gets like frozen solid. I was like, that's a lot of work, but makes sense. So after I left from there, I came back. I was just kind of chilling for a bit, and then I just picked up some food. I got some pasta. It's like a pesto fettuccine with some tomatoes and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm about to eat this, and then I'm just gonna be chilling for the rest of the night. I'm in for the day. I'm not going back out. I feel like I've done enough for one day. Good morning. Today is Sunday, February the 2nd. I've been having a bit of a lazy morning. It is now about 10:30 a.m. I only have one thing that I have to be at today, which is like this activity I'm doing at 5. We'll talk more about that later. So for now, I'm about to go eat breakfast. I'm gonna go to this place called Odd Saint. I guess it's brunch because it's 10:30. So I'm gonna have brunch at this place called Odd Saint. And then there's a Queenstown Gardens, which is like just really close to my hotel. So I'm gonna kind of go there and like walk through there and see what that's about, and probably just kind of chill for the bulk of the day until it's time for my activity at 5. Brunch was good. I enjoyed it. I got this like smoked salmon hash with poached eggs. It was really good. I really enjoyed that. It was supposed to, they have like 2 different options. Like there was one which is like a brisket hash, but then I decided to do the salmon one because I don't really eat too much beef like that. And then I also got this cheesy scone, which was really good. And it's very interesting what different people consider scones. I feel like it was almost like a bagel biscuit hybrid because it was toasted and sliced as if it were a bagel. And I've never had a scone like toasted and sliced like that. So that's why it was kind of giving bagel. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I ended up kind of like dipping the scone in the like sauce from the hash. It was really good. One thing to note is that here in New Zealand, so the prices are inclusive of any taxes and tipping is not expected. So basically the price that you see on the menu is the price. My bill came to 49 New Zealand dollars. I just paid with a $50 bill, told them to keep the change. So that way they would have like a small tip because apparently that's okay. But yeah, it's not like the US where you tip like 15%, 20%, 30%, whatever. Like it's not like that. So that was nice. And so then I left there. I went to the Queenstown Gardens, as I mentioned. I wasn't sure what to expect. I basically walked through. They do have like an ice rink, which I don't know if there's ice right now. I didn't actually go there because I didn't really care to see that part. There's also a skateboard park. I went to the Rose Garden. I did really like the Rose Garden. I probably would have spent more time in the Rose Garden, but there was only one bench in that area and there was already a guy sitting there. So I couldn't really find anywhere to sit down in the Rose Garden. So I ended up just kind of walking through the rest of the park. And then I went down to the waterfront and walked along the water back to my hotel. And then I just kind of sat down for a couple minutes to regroup, whatever. And then I walked over to this place called, I believe it's called Connolly's. It's where I went yesterday for dinner. It's kind of like a department store, like probably like a Macy's type of situation, but it also has a food court. So sort of kind of a mall, but like not really a mall, hybrid between mall and department store, I guess. But yeah, so they had different stuff. So they had like, you know, bags, watches, jewelry. They had some clothes in there, a lot of perfume, which I actually had to leave because the perfume was getting to be kind of overwhelming, to be honest. And it wasn't that big, so I couldn't really spend that much time in there anyway. So yeah, I just left from there, came back to my room, and I'm just gonna hang out here for the next couple hours until it's time for me to leave for my activity. And just in case I forget to pull out the camera before I leave again, I will tell you what I'm doing. So I'm going on a dinner cruise and like barbecue dinner. So we're taking a boat. It's called the TSS Earnslaw, which I think is some type of like historic steamship, something. We're taking that to Walter Peak Country Farm, I believe is what it's called, and there's like a barbecue buffet. So I'm curious to see how the barbecue is here. So yeah, that's what I'm doing later tonight. The tour starts at 5 p.m. I have to be there 30 minutes before, which is 4:30. It is now 2:23, and it's gonna take me probably about like 10 minutes to walk over there. So right around 2 hours I have to chill. So I'm just gonna hang out in my room and just, you know, chill for the next couple hours, and I will see y'all later.
但是我们发现一个问题，老婆，船是没座吗？
Hello, Piggy. Found the alpacas. Hello. Hello. Oh, y'all are ignoring me. That's cool. We got sheep. Hello, sheepies. We like sheep. There's a baby, a baby. There's a full-grown one and a baby. All right, y'all, I am back. That was a pretty good experience. I would say the best part was just taking the boat to and from. You know, I always love sitting on a boat, enjoying the scenery. Like, that's one of my most favorite things to do. So that was definitely the best part about this experience. Other than that, honestly, I feel like the farm itself, like with the barbecue and everything, probably wasn't really all that special. I feel like it's more so like a gimmick as opposed to something that you like absolutely have to do. So basically this is what happened. So we get on the boat. It was about 45 minutes to get to the farm, and then we go to their barbecue restaurant or whatever, which is a buffet. So they had like couple different like salad options, like some like pasta salad type of stuff, regular salad, like a coleslaw type of situation, a couple different things. They had charcuterie, they had bread, butter, and then of course they had the meats. So they had chicken, pork, lamb, venison, fish. Then they also had cauliflower, like grilled cauliflower for people who are vegetarian. And then they also had desserts, of course. So I think the salads and everything like that was all fine. Like, I feel like that was, you know, it was pretty good, but it wasn't anything like special to like, you know, oh my God, you must eat this. The meats, I would say the chicken was honestly the best one. But even with that, it was just like well-seasoned grilled chicken. It wasn't anything that it's like, oh, you can't get this somewhere else. The fish was pretty good. The pork was pretty good. I was not a fan of either the lamb nor the venison. I feel like both of them were pretty tough. They were not tender at all. I don't know if that's just because of the nature of the meat. I don't know if that's how it was cooked. I really don't know, but they were pretty tough and like not really enjoyable for that reason. So after I finished eating, I did walk around the farm a bit because I had seen a map that said they had sheep and alpacas and Highland cows and stuff like that. So I wanted to see the rest of the animals. So I did walk around and I was able to kind of see those. Then they had a farm show where one of the guys who works there, he sheared a sheep, and then he had the sheepdog, which they use short-haired border collie. They don't use long-haired border collie. I had never seen a short-haired collie before, but yeah, they have the short-haired ones here. Anyway, so that dog went to round up the sheep and like bring them into the pen, and that was like the demonstration. It was kind of cool to watch a sheep being sheared, but to be honest, at times a sheep looked real uncomfortable and it was making me uncomfortable, which I kind of get it because like I feel like that's never going to be a comfortable process because you gotta like, I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about it. It was kind of like, it was weird because like, okay, so first he had the sheep upside down, like on its back. And the sheep was like chilling in that position. It was just like, looking real chill, looking real like whatever, who knows what's going on. I'm chilling right here. Once the sheep wasn't on its back, because obviously it can't shear the sheep's back while the sheep is on its back, so I had to like turn it over. That's when the sheep started to look a little questionable, and it was like, you know, kicking its little legs. It wasn't like yelling or anything, so I don't think it was like in pain or anything like that, but it was very interesting. It was kind of cool to watch the dog go collect the sheep. We got to pet the dog, we got to feel the like wool. So yeah, that was kind of cool as well. And then after that, we just took the boat back, and yeah, that was it. So would I recommend this? Maybe. I wouldn't not recommend it, but I also wouldn't say that this is something you just like have to do. There is another option, like you could just buy the ticket to take the boat. So I would probably recommend that more so than this full experience where you just take the boat over there and take the boat back. That way you get the experience of riding on the boat, kind of getting to see the historic boat, and all of that good stuff without dealing with the barbecue and the animals and all that, because I really feel like that was not like a must do. Yeah. So that's it for today. It is now 9:26. As you can see, the sun is still out. Sun goes down pretty late here. People are outside, presumably to watch the sunset, but it is 9:26. I am tired. I'm about to go to bed. I will see y'all tomorrow.